Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. We are in a C5 wormhole and we're looking for our way out of wormhole space, originally from Nullsec and looking for the way back to HighSec. That's what I'm doing here. Previously it took a little bit too long to continue, so we had to take a bit of a break, but now we're back. Time to find that wormhole that goes to HighSec. So since we're in a C5, a class 5 wormhole, this is where stuff gets a bit difficult because when you're in Nullsec, I rarely find wormholes that lead to like C1, 2 and 3. Sometimes it can happen, but I don't see it so often. I more often find wormholes that lead to high class wormholes, such as C5. And the problem is that the low class ones, C1, 2 and 3, they often have wormholes that lead to HighSec. However, the high class wormholes, such as C5, don't usually have wormholes that lead to HighSec. So it's usually a little bit difficult, a little bit tricky to find your way to HighSec from these wormholes. But it's just a case of continuing to scan and going down the wormhole class. That's sort of the logic I use. I try to just go to as low class as wormhole as possible, or at least until I'm C3. Usually C3, C2 and C1, I don't notice a big difference in the prevalence of HighSec wormholes, but definitely if you find a C2, 3 or 1 wormhole, you'll have a relatively easy time finding your way back to HighSec because they often have wormholes that lead to HighSec or even lowsec, and you don't even necessarily have to go from a wormhole that leads to HighSec. You can also look for one that leads to lowsec, because sometimes a lowsec system can be like completely dead and you can then, it's maybe like 2 jumps out from a HighSec system, you can take the risk and go there. That's what I often have actually done. Okay, here's a wormhole. We can continue scanning here. We are an alpha clone on this ship and it's just using an Imicus, so it's basic stuff to show that you do not need to have really good stuff to be able to do this. Okay, into deadly, no, so let's put this as VYY deadly. Let's go back to the safe. I like it that these wormholes or signatures are pretty easy to scan down. They look pretty easy here. It's not like 18% feels like a lot to me from just one scan. I'm used to, previously I remember I was just getting a few percentage points for each scan. Yeah, that's nice. I like to see that. The issue with C5 is that it often has lots of C5s associated with it. Some people call it the C5 highway, which is a bunch of C5s linked up to each other. And it's good if you want to find C5s, it's not good if you want to find lower class wormholes. We do not need to go so narrow, because I think we will not be able to scan this now. What class or what tier of scanning was this one? It doesn't say, because the other one says scanning level 2. Okay, we were able to scan it anyway, that's good. Let's go to this wormhole. Good that we're getting lots of wormholes, because as long as we find a lower TFM wormhole than this, C4, C3 preferably. I don't think I've ever found a direct connection from HighSec to one of these C5s, but I have found connections to C3s. H296 into dangerous unknown parts of space. Let's see now, this is ZLM dangerous. Let's move the scan down a bit here, move it a bit to the side. It's dangerous. What kind of wormhole is that? Dangerous. Dangerous, I think it's C5 it seems. Okay, so dangerous could be C4 or C5, okay. Unknown and deadly is always C6. Okay, I see. Bunch of wormholes. Not doing any scans. It seems like it's pretty dead here. And my guess that this will definitely be another deadly or C5 wormhole. We just have to keep continuing on our search. We can check the statics of this wormhole. H296 was the static wormhole, which is a C5. K1, dangerous unknown parts of space, another C6. YJB, dangerous. Lots of wormholes, but a few low-class ones. Another wormhole. What we could always do is we could pop into a wormhole and just check it. Does it have a static that leads to a lower class? I think you can sometimes find C5s that have a static that leads to C3. You can just maybe quickly go in the wormholes, check. Does it have a static? Does it not? another class or level 2. Level 1 scanning difficulty, okay. There were some that had level 2 scanning difficulty. I don't know if there's a correlation between scanning difficulty and the class of the wormhole. But we saw class 2s before, so it must mean that it could perhaps mean that there's something different in terms of this wormhole. We'll see. The background looks pretty cool here. Oh, what is this? Dangerous unknown parts of space. Okay. SOZ is dangerous. A lot of dangerous and deadly. Primarily dangerous. This is a contributing factor to why freight services exist, because not only is it dangerous, but it also can take a long time if you do not have luck of getting good wormhole connections straight away. Gas site, we don't need that. It's just a case of scanning, making it as good as possible when it comes to your scanning. Data site, not something we're interested in. Usually, I find this to usually be the case is that signatures are usually within 4 AU of the closest celestial. That's why I did a 4 AU scan on top of this planet here. I was able to find it, but it could happen that it doesn't detect it. I just happened to find it. This looks a little bit difficult to scan down the signature here. We'll see if it's a wormhole. Data site. Okay, we can check these wormholes, see if there's anything interesting in here. Start from the top here, Z, and then go work our way down. See if they've got any interesting statics. See here, J115127. And this has a static for C5, okay. Nothing we're interested in. Let's do YJB. Oh, there's a Loki. Oh, there's Loki. Please don't die. Please don't die. No, 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 no. Oh, there was a Loki over there. Oh, I thought he was gonna click me. He was gonna destroy my ship. Let's go through here. See if there's anything of interest in here. In YJB. This also has a C5. Let's go to VYY. It says deadly though, so I doubt that it's going to be a low class wormhole static in there. Just check that this C6 wormhole has a static to C5, so never mind. And it's actually this static right here. Okay, so this wormhole has 2 statics, and actually one of them is a C2, this N7 over here. So we'll go to this. That's great. So we just need to find the N wormhole. Let's go to this safe. It's always good to be in a safe, preferably when you're scanning. Especially as an alpha clone, because you've not got a cloak to keep yourself covered. Gas site. Another gas site. A lot of gas in this system. There we go. Got this wormhole scanned down. It was pretty difficult though. Just keep scanning in case it's not the one we're looking for. This is what I'm talking about. You just want to go down the classes. H900. Okay, this is dangerous unknown parts of space. Not the one we want. K162. Okay, this is not what we want. Another K162. We're finding basically every possible signature in this system, apart from the wormhole we want to find. There's only 2 signatures left. Finally, we found the wormhole. Now, let's go and almost back to high sec. We are still not in high sec yet. But this C2 is very likely going to have something that goes to low sec or high sec. Check that there's no people camping. Nope, no one's there. J1530. Oh, this C2 wormhole has a high sec static, I believe. That's great. Walk within 100 and launch the probes. Let's get back home. It is an unfortunate thing if you get put into high sec and then you actually come into a high sec island surrounded by low sec. Oh no, I thought I came into safety, but then I have to go through some more low sec. But it's still better than just getting into low or being stuck here, because at least you can sort of find your way out. And this is a heavily camped low sec system. Make it safe. A wormhole. Okay. Now I found a wormhole that leads into high security. This was just a random wormhole. This was not even like a static. Perfect. And I think it even goes to Caldari, because you can tell here the background, it looks grey. That is what it looks like in Caldari space. Yep. Caldari space. The Forge. Perfect. We're back home. We're back home, guys. So that's how you find your way back home from Nullsec through wormholes if you do not have any parchment filaments. It's pretty straightforward, just scan, but it can take a long time depending on your luck. Just keep scanning until you find some wormholes and work your way down the classes until you come into low classes. Like you saw here, C2 we directly found a high-sec wormhole. Doesn't necessarily mean you will find a high-sec wormhole directly in a C2. You could also very much likely find low-sec wormholes as well, but you will not be really finding any high-sec wormholes, or at least extremely unlikely to find high-sec wormholes in high-class wormholes like the C5s. So just work your way down until you eventually find a low-class wormhole, and then you should find your way out to high-sec. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That took a bit of time, but we finally got ourselves back to freedom. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.